Well, here we are, trying to get back into Virtual Pool 4 online. It's 3:47 here on Tuesday afternoon, and I've been home from work for a few hours, and as soon as I tried to log in earlier on, I got the socket error message in Virtual Pool 4 online. The socket error message is gone, but in the meantime, a few hours ago, I sent an email to the super admin. I've had no response from it. Obviously, it's early in the morning, or at least it was a lot earlier in the morning stateside when I sent it. I also contacted DJ Simon, who informs me that, this has been going on a lot longer than I've found it because I've been at work early morning, but apparently a couple of the guys on Discord have stated that it was down last night, pretty much, I think, or something along those lines. I don't know whether they meant last night stateside or last night European side, but it has been down for a number of hours. I've had no response with any information other than what happens here. I now don't get the socket error, I get this error coming up. It hangs around for a second or two, and then it just fails to connect to the server or words to that effect, and that's basically where we stand. Now, of course, the problem is that we have a main tournament running at the moment, an NRT tournament, the Virtual 9-Ball World Championships, and there's a match scheduled for just over 4 hours time, 4 hours and 10 minutes to be exact, between Bedhead from Sweden and Real Poland Power, Stubb from the USA. And Stubb messaged me on Facebook, and that was a number of hours ago, that he probably had messaged me that he had the same problem. So this is not just a 5-minute thing. This is down for some major reason. Now, the other thing that is a concern is that we're not getting an update. Now, assuming there's an issue, which there is, the assumption is that Steve is trying to get things resolved. It would be about 10 minutes to 11 AM his time at the moment, so the assumption is he'll be well out of bed. He should be aware of the situation, and he should be trying to get it resolved. But where we don't have much of an idea is the fact that we're not getting any information coming out from him. And this is the latest information that I've got, and that's the situation that we're in. And in the meantime, there's nothing else that we can do but be patient and wait and see what happens, and just keep trying to connect and see if we will connect in. Yep, been like this for hours apparently. I got home at when did I get home today? I got home about 10:30 or something this morning, and got home, had breakfast, and probably about noon or something like that, I came online, and before I went to VP4, I went to Facebook, and I had a message from Stubb telling me that VP4 was down. Now, my intention, as I usually do, is log into VP4, then go and do other things, but obviously the first thing I did was try to log in to see if it had been resolved, and it hasn't been. So we're in this situation at the moment where we haven't got any sort of update to let us know what the issue is, and what's being done to resolve it. We only have to assume. I say no correspondence has came in from Steve in acknowledgement of the email that I sent to him. I dare say Simon has sent a message to him as well, and you know, we're all just in the dark until we find out, or until basically it goes up. That's the only way we're going to find out. If we don't get correspondence on the VP4 Facebook page, and if we don't get response to an email, then we will be none the wiser. I still think, again, from a customer service point of view, I think it's still better to take that time out to just post something somewhere where people can get a hold of it, and so we know exactly what's going on. But I'll tell you this, and this is what the second or third time that we've had this issue, or issues similar to it, since this change of server. The reliability has went right out the window since this move or change or swap or whatever it is he's done. There's definitely a much higher level of instability with the setup that we've got now to the setup that we used to have. I mean, the biggest complaint about the other server was that the internal browser was slow. I'd sooner have an internal browser but a reliable server than a faster browser and a server that is going to go down every couple of weeks. But this is the circumstances that we're in, so we just have to sit and grind it out. And of course that's going to, if this continues for the rest of the day, that's going to wreck the tournament. Wreck that match for a start, because that's going to time out, that's going to be over and done as soon as the servers get restarted and the tournaments get loaded up. There'll be an immediate forfeit in that match, so that will need fixing. And the only reason I went live is in case any guys out there, you know, they might not be in Facebook, and they might not have any other way of finding out any other information either. So if they do, then if they are a subscriber to YouTube or Twitch or whatever, then they may well get a notification letting them know that I'm live. So other than that, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, well, as far as I know, Bedhead, yes. Now, good afternoon, guys. I don't know whether you heard, but Simon did I messaged Simon. He replied to me. Simon did a restart on the server, so that made no difference. So he's done all he can do. Simon, I'm assuming, has contacted Steve. I sent a message, as I said earlier. I've had no reply. But according to a couple of the guys on Discord, I was reading the chat that they were having with Brian Redback. Seemingly it's been down for a lot longer than what we think. Bill would be the best at telling us when he tried to get into VP4, because obviously Bill's stateside, and he could tell us the last time he was in VP4 or if he got kicked. But the situation that we're in at the moment is that we've got nothing, and it's just exactly the same with the login. He's on the road. He can't be. See, the thing that, but remember, Steve said on the stream the other night that he can't do. He can't be here for the commentary if he was wanting to do that with the stub bedhead match because he's got family either coming over or he's going over to family. But if Steve's on the road, he's on the road early. I mean, he's been on. He's going to, well. There's not really probably a lot that he can do until wherever the servers are and whoever's responsible for maintenance and whatever, it's up to them to deal with it. Assuming that things get fixed, then the system will automatically run. And if something has been done, then the assumption then is that Steve would contact Simon and tell him to do a restart, and that should be it. I mean, I haven't a clue how servers work, but I'll tell you the idea that I come up with, and I posted it on Discord. What I came up with is that Bedhead and Stubbs already got an account with Shooter's Pool. And if Bedhead hasn't got one, then he should get one. And we gate crash Shooter's Pool tonight, and they set up the match in there, and then we obviously hold the result, and it gets added to the tournament system once the thing's up and running. And that way you get the match. Everybody piles into Shooter's Pool. We gate crash it and then we dump them as soon as the match is finished. We head out. That would be a solution. But other than that, there ain't going to be anything unless Steve gets his act together. So how long that's going to take? I mean, taking care of it soon. I mean, soon is like, it has to be soon within 4 hours to get it working. Or we don't have a match. And then as I said, there's going to be a forfeit. And then that'll have to be reset. So I wouldn't expect anything happening soon. Yeah, that's it. That's the problem. Well, let's see. You're getting a long pause. So obviously, nothing's going to happen. We're clutching at straws here, thinking something's miraculously going to happen, and this is going to work. It ain't happening. So if it's 11 a.m. Now East Coast time, and if Steve's on the road, goodness knows how many hours it's going to take him to get to wherever he's going. But you know, this is the problem with a setup as small as it is. There should be somebody dealing with this. If Steve's out of town, that there should be somebody he's in contact with that can deal with this in his behalf. You would think. I mean, excuse me for asking questions that seem obvious, but that's what I would think would be the case. You know, you're going out of town, you have something in place that deals with a system failure like this by, you know, getting the wheels in motion, getting the right people to do the things and getting it up and running as quick as they possibly can. But I have to say, I am not impressed, as probably most of you aren't, since this move to these other servers. We've had 2, 3, 4 failures or breakdowns or breaks in service since that's actually happened. And we had, you know, any times we'd break in service with the original servers was for general maintenance, so we knew what was happening. But these are general breakdowns that are happening, and they're happening too often and too frequent since this move. So I don't think that was a good idea at the end of the day. So he's aware of the situation. So, but there's probably a lot of people who drop into VP4 won't have the faintest idea. They won't have a clue. They'll just. I mean, earlier on when I went into Shooter's Pool, and I looked, there was 125 people in there. 70 rooms were up when I checked earlier on. So, no doubt there's a fair few folk have given up the ghost and decided to jump ship for the day until such things change. I just fired up Skyrim again. Wanna play my match and do a runner on VP4 again. Is that RPG game thing? Hazard says 14 hours it's been down. I mean, that's the middle of the night, Steve's time, and I'm sure he's got some sort of alarm system that tells him. Now, you're saying that the VP4 web page is working, the actual online, so you can go to your profile, because I haven't even checked that. Because usually when the whole thing's down, it's down as well, you can't get logged in. There we go. There's something you don't check very often. I thought I was speaking. Yeah, my mic's all plugged in, so I mean, if you can't hear me, you can't hear me. Mind you, I think you're the only one that can't hear me, Hazard. Yeah, the final credits are rolling in Virtual Pool 4. Yeah, you'll need to get that fixed, because the 9ball.com.co.uk is down the Swanee. It's out the window. So we're on version 4.5.6.1 production PC version. Virtual Pool 4 online software, copyright 2014. So, I mean, obviously the online was it was the offline. It was first, wasn't it? Offline was first, then the online came, or was it the other way around? I can't even remember now. I think it was offline. It was first. Well, I was saying to Bill, did Bill send me a message on Facebook about him arranging his match with Uslim, and tomorrow I've got BT coming out to upgrade me to fibre. All the cabling is there to the house. It's just the engineer coming to fit the stuff in the wall, and he's supposed to be with me between 8 and 1 8 in the morning and 1 PM, sometime within that time slot, that's when he's supposed to arrive to get this done. So hopefully that won't take up too much time. He might be here, an hour, 90 minutes or something, and get that done. And I should be back up and running fairly promptly once that's done, provided he turns up this time. At least I'm one step further on now that the guys came out last week and actually fitted the cable to the house. So I'm just a few meters short of getting linked up to fibre. Right, let's no, that's the problem. You can't do anything like that with VP4. The problem we obviously see, this is the biggest complaint we had at the start, that VP4 doesn't have LAN, and if that was the case, we could have had the match online, just peer to peer as they call it, or whatever the hell it is that we used to do in Virtual Pool 3 when GameSpy went down once or twice. We did that in VP3. You set a room in VP3 and people could join it. But you don't have that option here. It's this or nothing at all. But then, of course, when GameSpy went down, VP4 was already in testing process and all that stuff, and we had to try whatever it was called. We tried 2 or 3 different places to play Virtual Pool 3, not with a great deal of success, it has to be said. Tungo was one of them, and then it went down the pan. And then there was that other one, Hamachi or something like that. I think it was Hamachi. We tried those, but it worked for some people, but it was it was too not very stable, shall we say. That was the issue with those. But when you don't have a LAN option in the game, then you're stuck with what you have, and that's relying on the server being up and running, and if it's not, you've got nothing. All you've got is offline. In fact, here's a good idea. Now there's something. This is again a chance for you guys who haven't got offline and like most of us never bothered to check anything on the offline training. So here's your opportunity. If we can just get out of that, cancel that, play offline. Right, we're back, because when you hit play offline, it then loads up the offline version. There we go. Let's listen to Steve Daking.
Hello, I'm Steve Daking, entertainer, trick shot champion.
He's bloody loud as well.
I'm here to give you an understanding of everything you need to know to play some great pool. This is a whistle-stop tour of all the major techniques and principles of the sport. Virtual pool is the closest you can get to the game without picking up a cue stick. And everything you learn here, you can use on any pool table, either real or virtual. Wherever you play, getting results takes time and practice. So don't expect to become a champion overnight. The more you play, the better you get.
Stubbs should be watching this.
The more you get out. After you've completed the training here, be sure to visit me on the web at stevedaking.com for more about me, my trick shot shows and links to my online pool training.
Well, what's going on, miasma, is VP4's dead, and that's why we're here.
In the game of pool, you start by hitting the cue ball onto an object ball. If that's going to mean something, then the object ball should go in a useful direction, usually into a pocket. Whatever shot you're playing, accuracy is what it's all about. So how do you work out where precisely on the object
Yeah, he's been mailed, he's been texted.
Where you want it to go? Well, one method is called the ghost ball technique. Let me explain. If I'm trying to pop the red ball into the side pocket there,
We haven't a
then
clue
I
what the
would
setup
need
is.
to
I don't know
hit
whether
the red
miasma
ball
has either, but
at
I
point
certainly
of
don't know.
contact just there. So I'm laying my cue on an object ball line and the point of contact is there on the red ball. Now, what I need to do is take another cue ball and just rest it up against the red there. Now that's an imaginary ball. That's what we call a ghost ball, and that's touching the point of contact. So all I need to do is to replace that ghost ball with my cue ball, and I know then.
So that was 2 AM your time, Bill. That's an awful long time ago.
Using that theory, you can be certain that you're going to be hitting the balls where you want them to go. To help you learn, while you're playing virtual pool, you can select to have the ghost ball appear automatically as one of the training aids on the quick play menu until you get used to the idea. When the ghost ball training aid is selected in quick play, it can be turned on and off during the game.
I've never done any of this stuff, by the way.
The great thing is that this technique works at any angle. So let's try a few.
This is numpty level virtual pool. This. Right, now, I presume, how do we go out of that? Why is it stalled? Is it meant to do that?
In the game of pool, you start by hitting the cue.
Oh no, wait a minute.
Now, a slightly thinner cut.
Right, that's what it is. You just got to move it on to the next one. And then it freezes up. Oh right, I see.
Now,
I'm missing out the tab that says try shot. I didn't notice it said try shot at the bottom there. That proves I haven't done it. Watch me cock this up, by the way. So that's the ghost ball for making a cut into the middle. I'll never do that. I can't see the bloody edge of a ball. And you're playing with a house cue as well, which is garbage. Oh no, you get done for copyright doing that, Slim. Get a copyright slash doing that. Yeah, that was easy. Where's the bloody problem? That's even with the blindness setting in now. How do you get out of this? Do you just hit escape or what? Alright. Right, okay, so now to the next one.
So the ghost ball technique can be used to accurately judge the potting angle.
The volume levels in this presentation go up and down like a yo-yo.
The cue ball to replace it is the challenge.
Right, so we've done we've done that. We've completed the ghost ball thing. We're using spin. Right, here we go.
Spin occurs in the game of pool when you strike the cue ball anywhere other than in the centre. What makes this spin useful is how it affects the path of the cue ball after it has contacted the object ball. If you want to take your positional play beyond just how hard you hit the balls, then you need to know about spin and what it does. There are different types of spin.
I'm aiming to help these amateurs
spin or follow, and
semi-pro
or side. We'll be looking at each of those in turn and what they do.
These are tactically challenged people I'm dealing with here.
There are a few rules that are the same whatever spin you apply to the cue ball. Firstly, the further away from the centre of the cue ball you hit, the more spin that you apply to the ball. Be careful not to hit too close to the edge, or you run the risk of miscuing or jumping the ball off of the table. A tip's width in from the edge of the ball is usually considered safe. Second, the harder you hit the ball, the more spin you will apply. Finally, and most important, the thing that matters the most is how the cue ball is spinning when it strikes the object ball. This is the point when the cue ball will change direction depending on the spin that you've applied. There is an important consideration with that. Any spin you apply to the cue ball dissipates as it travels. Eventually, you'll end up with a cue
Yeah,
ball
it
that's
drags
just
and then it
rolling
goes
along
forward.
the cloth.
Yeah.
If that happens before it strikes the object ball, then it will behave as if you haven't put on any spin to begin with. What that means to you is that the distance between the balls has a lot to do with what happens to the spin. The further the distance between the balls, the less spin the cue ball will have when it hits the object ball. So you'll need to hit the ball harder and further out from the centre on a long shot than you would on a close shot to get the same reaction. This judgment
You know
comes with
something, I wouldn't be
experience.
surprised
So
if
as
I get a
always,
copyright strike
practice
for
is
doing
the
this,
key.
by the way. You know, actually showing this, because this is copyrighted to Celerus, these videos, I would imagine. Or Steve Daking, one of the two. Right. Hang on a minute. I didn't get a chance to play a shot there. I keep ignoring the play shot thing.
A stun shot is like a mini draw shot. What we're aiming for with the stun shot is to get the cue ball to have 0 rotation when it hits the object ball. It's not rolling forward, it's not rolling backwards, it's just sliding along the table. So to play a stun shot, I strike the cue ball just below the centre line, not even a full tip's width. That small amount of backspin.
Now remember, I
should just
can't
hold
search
the
on
cue ball
YouTube because
on
I'm
contact with the object
on
ball. On a
Gamecaster,
straight shot,
and
the effect is that
it
the cue ball
only
stops
records
dead, where
a
the ghost ball
game
would be.
that's live. It doesn't
Let's give it a
record browsers. It's not like OBS. It only specifically will stream or record a live game that's running. Right, let's try the shot. What am I trying again here? A stun shot or something? Right, what does it say there? Shooting a stun requires the proper speed and Q-tip position to get the cue ball to have no... What does that say? I can't see it from my thing over the top. Press escape to go back to the videos. Right, so all I do is just hit this then. Is that what he wants me to do? Right, well that's it done then.
The stun shot is a useful tool to help us understand positional play. If the shot isn't straight, the cue ball will head down what we call the tangent line.
The tangent line.
That is a line at 90 degrees to the object ball line through the centre of the ghost ball. This makes predicting the path of the cue ball easy, no matter what the angle of any shot, because all that matters is the angle the ghost ball makes with the object ball line. Let me show you. This shot is at 45-degree angle. The tangent line is straight down the table. If I play the stun shot successfully, the cue ball will head down the table towards the diamond.
Five seconds later you bought the offline version. You're crazy. Try shot. Right, so... hit escape. Where are we? We move on to the next one.
The great thing about this is it works no matter what the angle. So let's try it at a wider angle.
Well, he put spin on that, so he did. He had spin on it, that's why it went off at an angle when it hit the rail. It didn't come back up straight like mine did. The guy's an umpty. Well, mine's did it as well. Right, wait a minute, we've done that one.
It even works when the shot is nearly straight. I have to hit it harder to make the rail, but the direction is what's important.
Right, so we'll try that shot, just give it a belt. Did you guys? That's what I meant to ask you guys, because there was something I'd forgotten about. You know that there was a game called what was the game again? Not Pure Pool, but it's I think it's a company that make it, Voodoo Studios. But there was a game that was
So the stun shot
that
is
Stephen
not only
Henry.
a useful positional shot, it's also the key to understand.
Stephen Henry had made a promo video for it. What's it called? Just Pool or Just Snooker? There's two different games, and they were both. There's videos on YouTube about them, but there's been no further information of these games. They were supposed to be released a year ago. I think they've died a death. Could be the COVID had something to do with it.
Standing position and the concept.
No, I wouldn't play that. Any of these shots, I wouldn't play zoomed in like that.
When there's more distance between the cue ball and the object ball.
The way it's zoomed in the game here in this demo, I never play like that. Mal does.
Fighting the direction of travel.
Mal zoomed into what this is like in the game here.
The spin has gone. So over a longer distance, you might have to strike the cue ball slightly lower down with the tip, or hit the ball a little bit harder. Let's try a stun shot over a distance.
Right, what's he doing? The stun run through? No, he's just trying to kill it. That's a hard one to master, the stun run through. See, that is never where I shoot from. I shoot from like there.
Now try a shot even further away.
Right, so we'll try that shot. That was a draw shot. Why is it saying incomplete?
A draw shot or a screwback shot, where a draw shot becomes really useful, is when the cue ball is at an angle to the object ball. If the shot is straighter, I can pull the cue ball back more from the tangent line.
Right, so we'll try the shot. He's got the bottom on it, so we're jacked up. I think that's me complete that.
Draw is a really useful positional tool. To judge it accurately, you have to consider the angle, the distance between the balls, the pace, and just how far out from the centre you're striking the cue ball. A straight shot will mean the ball comes back to you, and a cut means the ball heads away from you, all the time pulling back from the tangent line. The thinner the cut,
is this the same thing I've just done?
Pull away.
Right. Right, so that's complete. Right, so we've done that. So now the follow shot.
A follow shot, or top spin, is when your Q-tip strikes the cue ball above centre.
Look at how close this
makes the cue ball spin forwards faster than it normally would. And if it's still doing that when it hits an object ball, it will push forward from the tangent line. If that's a straight shot, it will follow the object ball, hence the name. Let's try some. With this shot, I'm going to pop the red ball into the side and have the cue ball follow the ball into the same pocket. I'm going to strike the cue ball above centre.
Oh, I'm an expert at that.
Not to hit too high.
I'll do that, no problem.
Slide off the top of the ball.
I'll do that, no problem. Well, you watch this. I can easily follow into a pocket with loads of practice. Right, try shot. Right. Oh, no he hasn't. That wasn't set right, that wasn't my fault. It's supposed to be set so you can play the bloody shot. Let's try that again. Is that ball sitting central? Something doesn't feel right about this shot. Well, that feels better. It must be my eyes. That's definitely where I'm going wrong then.
The follow shot is most effective when the cue ball is at an angle to the object ball. With this shot, the cue ball would usually head off down the tangent line. But with the follow shot, I can push the cue ball forward from the tangent line and change the angle.
Well, that match will be off as long as virtual pool remains down, but I suggested we all move into shooter's pool and play it in there. I don't see a problem with that. I'm just desperate to have a match. And then we update the bracket once the tourney system's up and running and VP's up and running. What am I doing here again? I wasn't paying attention to what he was saying. I'm just going to do it anyway, whatever the hell it is he wants me to do. Hang on. I'll probably scratch in that bottom pocket now. Watch this. Oh no, it's not going to get there. Yeah, what's the wrong with gate crashing shooter's pool, playing the match and then dumping the place as soon as we've finished it?
With a straighter shot, the cue ball gets pushed further forward from the tangent line.
Right, that looks easy. I think I can manage that. Right. That's that done. And then the next one.
With a thin cut, it's more difficult to push forward from the tangent line, so the effect of the spin is reduced.
Well, you're better off then just setting a room yourself and waiting for somebody to join. In shooters. This will be the first time I'll have done the tutorial in Virtual Pool 4 since I had the offline. I've never looked at these. Where are we now? Going to that one.
Follow is one of the basic positional tools. As with all spins, the angle, the distance between the balls, the pace and how high up the cue ball you strike will determine the outcome.
Right, so that's the summary on that one. And now the break shot. Oh, I'll be good at that. Yeah. I've got that mastered.
Most shots in the game of pool, you should be able to predict the outcome. The break shot is slightly different. There are usually lots of balls on the move. Many pool games require you to really split the balls up on the break, so let's look at a way of doing that. If you need to split the balls up, then accuracy is just as important as how hard you hit the ball. Getting a good full ball contact on the head ball means that 100% of the power goes through the pack.
Right, try shot, right. I'll just leave it at that then. Right, that'll do. That's that one done. Let's go on to the next one.
If you're aiming to pop balls from the break, then it may help to move the cue ball to the side of the table when you break.
No, I don't like that.
Most pops
that's
are caused
too
by
close to the
object
side.
balls bumping into each other, and by pushing them over to one side of the table, there are more collisions, so a better chance of pocketing a ball. That's exactly what you need when playing a game like 9-ball. But if you break from the side, you need to hit the head ball full on from where the cue ball is, not straight down the table. That way you still get all the power into the pack.
Right, try shot. Right, I'm going to zoom out because I don't like being in so close. Now remember, we're trying to break off of the house cue here because so we've got no power in this at all. And I still didn't get a ball in the break. Right, that's that one done. Mark that as red.
Be careful of your cue angle when you break. If you cue off the side cushion, it may mean the butt angle of the cue is raised, resulting in a jump shot. If the ball is in the air when it hits the head ball, it could fly off the table. So for this reason, wherever you break from, you want to try and keep the cue.
I think he tried to smash the camera lens here with that shot. Right, what am I to try now? Well, I'm certainly not going to try it. What am I to try and get the ball off the table? Let me read that. Hit the head ball solidly for the best ball action. Try different cue ball positions and see how that changes the break action and how many balls are made. If you are having trouble getting full power, try pressing amplify. Oh, right. I never knew that. I'm certainly not going to break at this angle. That's got to bounce the ball off the... I'm going to do it. I'm going to amp it up with the house cue and give it a smack. There you go. Didn't you get to the ball straight off the table? Well, there's the cue angle guide that got taken away on the online. We were testing the sort of trying to do the kill shot, and I think it was like, was it 6 point something? I can't remember. Was it 7.2? Let me try that. Mind you, I don't know whether it'll work so good with the house cue. Jesus Christ almighty, what the hell was that? There's balls bouncing everywhere. Right, we'll give that a miss.
If you're in career mode in virtual pool, you can buy a breaking cue, which is heavy.
I think about half a dozen balls went off the table there. Right, so that's that summarised. Playing a safe. All right, here we go. This we're talking. I mean, this is like teaching your granny to suck eggs. This playing a safe.
It takes a long time to learn all the tactics involved in most pool games. Years of practice and experience combine to help you to decide what shots to go for. In some situations, it's not always wise to try and pocket all the balls all the time. So let's look at a couple of alternatives. First, laying a snooker. A snooker is when you leave your opponent behind a ball that they're not allowed to hit.
Now you see,
in some games,
we're talking about a pool game, yet he's using snooker terminology. You know, he's not using the hook shot terminology. Right, what we're trying to do, just roll up behind the three. I presume I'm trying to just roll behind the three to... I mean, this is... I presume that's all I'm supposed to do. Like that. See? Now, Hazard couldn't do that. Because his mouse is too high a speed, you see.
It takes a long time to learn all the tactics involved in most pool games. Years of practice and experience combine to help you to decide what shots to go for.
If those two guys are going into shooter's pool, I'm going to start up shooter's pool and look for them.
So let's look at a couple of alternatives. First, laying a snooker. A snooker is when you leave your opponent behind.
Well, this is the thing I've just seen.
Not allowed to hit. In some games, this could be easy, as you can just roll up the cue ball behind an object ball.
I've just already bloody played this thing. Right, I'll do it again. That's as near as damn it. Right, let's go to the next one.
In most pool games, laying a snooker is a bit more difficult. You have to hit a cushion, so you must play off an object ball, strike a cushion and leave the cue ball.
Don't tell me he's passworded the room. Oh dear. Right, what am I trying to do? Now, what did he do there? Did he hit the 4 to try and get behind the 2? Because I wasn't paying attention, I was too busy reading the chat. Well, that's as good as it's going to be. Right.
More tricky is when you have to snooker your opponent on the ball that you're both on. Like in 9-ball, both the cue ball and the target object ball are on the move. In those situations, careful cue ball control is what it's all about.
Now, I've just realised if I started up shooter's pool, I probably won't have the chat in it. I probably won't have the chat because I haven't set chat up for Shooter's Pool, I don't think. So it probably won't work, and I don't want to be tabbing out and messing about. Let's try this shot. What am I doing here? Trying to get behind the 7. There you go. That means, again, not a problem. Right, so let's do this one. Right, so we've done that one, and now a kick shot.
If you're in a snooker, the odds are that you'll attempt a kick shot. A kick shot is when you play the cue ball to bounce off a rail and into your target ball. So how do you work out where on the rail to hit?
Has anybody noticed that he's out of sync?
Some involving lots of geometry.
He's out of sync.
I think the easiest way is to combine some common sense with some trial and error visualisation.
His lips aren't going with his voice.
If I need to hit the object ball using the side rail, then I know that the cue ball has to hit somewhere between the lines perpendicular to where the cue ball and object balls are. When I'm playing, I find it most useful to walk around the table to the rail in question, so I get the best view. In virtual pool, you might want to switch to the overhead view. The X key will quickly flip your view to overhead.
No, I never use it.
What I'm looking for is a point where I can visualise the cue ball striking the cushion and bouncing and hitting the object ball. A good place to start is the halfway point between the two balls. If both balls were at the same distance from the cushion, then this would work fine, but in this case the object ball is further away. I need a point that is nearer to the cue ball. So I pick another point on the rail, maybe half the distance again, then visualise the shot on this point. I can see that this is too far the other way, so I half the distance between the points again. I keep going until I find a point on the cushion I'm happy with. When you get down to play the shot, aim at the point you've picked out and give the shot the right pace.
What is the challenge? To pot the bloody ball now, not just hit it? I'll be here all day with this one. Right, that's that complete. English intro.
When you play a shot with English, you strike the cue ball either left or right of the centre line. This has the effect of spinning the cue ball around its vertical axis as it makes its way along the table. That spin doesn't do much as the ball travels, but when it hits a rail, it really kicks in. If you play with a lot of left English, when the ball hits a cushion, it will spin out to the left.
Right. Try shot. Now I think he's got English on it. Yeah. English was already set for you before you play it.
With right hand English, the cue ball heads out to the right.
Right. No, like I said, Semi, if I do go there, I probably won't have any chat. At least I can't remember whether I do, but I'll try it now. Hang on a minute. Just give us a second, guys. How do you get out of this bloody training thing? How do you get out of it?
A good exercise is to play the cue ball.
Right, I've hit stop. But how do you get out of the whole menu thing? Right, wait a minute. Right, so I'm going to shut down VP4. In fact, I'm going to try the online for a second just to double check. We'll just give it a quick check. This won't be a surprise. Exactly the same as before. So, Right, it's going to log out in a minute. Right, and now I'll start Shooter's Pool. Back in a second. Oh, I do have chat in Shooter's Pool. But the problem is it's in a white background. Right, where are they? They're in the match room. Now you'd think they'd be in a match room, wouldn't you? Who set the room? Was it Semi that set the room? You'd think it'd be. I wonder if they're done alphabetically in this thing. No, they're not. Those tabs don't work. Hang on. So is it 9-ball they're playing? What? Good afternoon, Tam. What's going on is Virtual Pool 4's dead and buried. It's gone to the big pool hall in the sky. What game are they playing? If somebody can tell me, because I can't find it. Look for the ones with the lock icon. Right, hang on. No, not. Yeah, but is it in a match room? That's the question. Oh, see, there's that many bloody rooms. See if this was Virtual Pool 4. This would be great. Cannot find the room. And that's us down to the chat. So. Oh, there it is, there. There, I see it there. Right, hang on a minute. Now, how the hell do I get into it? Oh, you know what the problem is? I can't see it because of the... There's that update pop-up again. That update pop-up keeps popping up, and I've already done that a long while ago. Hang on a minute. Where do I go back? Where's the go back thing in this? Right, now, I think what I need to do is click in over there. Am I in the right room? I think I've gone into the wrong room. Oh, there we go. I thought it was a password lock on it. It obviously isn't. Right. So and my little, hang on a minute till I change my little doodle thing on the top of the screen because it's covering up vital information. Just give me a second, guys. Right, that's better. So it's a race to 9. The problem I've got with Shooter's Pool is remembering where all the buttons are for the cameras. Yeah, I think I clicked on the spectator button. Well, that's still never been fixed because I said to them a long while ago, if I set a password in my room, I don't want anybody coming in the room. See, there's the black shafted cues that you've got in Shooter's Pool that we don't have in Virtual Pool 4. That's what I love about them, because I can sight the ball a bit better with the black shaft. And the volume. Now, how do you? What the hell? Where's the cameras in this thing? I cannot remember. I'm bashing buttons here to find cameras. 3, 4. Is it L? Oh, it's L. That's what it is. That's the free camera. It's a bit of a dirty table, isn't it?
Foul.
And at this end of the table, the volume's louder. So Semi-Pro and Mooncake. Semi-Pro from England, Mooncake from the Netherlands. We're at 1 rack all. Well, I've got everything. I've got everything in Shooter's Pool up full. But I think, see, this room. I don't like this room. Obviously, they may well have just chosen the first room that's come up, but the tournament room's a far better room. See, the balls look dull in here. They don't have the same gloss that you get on like the tournament room. But that's, again, it's just like in Virtual Pool 4 where the lighting is poor. But you've got to remember as well, the table is a dirty table. And the balls have got a dirt level on them as well. So it's a bit like an old used table that they're playing on. Well, apparently, Tam, it's been down for hours and hours. You know, long before I get home from work, you know, like the middle of the night our time, it's been down since. And Steve's been notified, according to Bill or whoever it is that told us there, he does know about it, but he's on the road. So when it's going to be fixed, goodness knows when. So I imagine that maybe a lot of guys would not be on Facebook or not have any contacts to get an idea of what's going on, so that's why I went live. Plus that, the fact I was bored as well.
Player 2 to break.
So Semi-Pro to break. Watch the bend in the shaft of the cube when it or the animation in the shaft of the cube when it breaks. This is not a very nice room, it has to be said. I don't like it. Well, first of all, the carpet. I hate the carpet. It's absolutely gross. Well, if it was down 15 hours ago for you, it's been down a heck of a long time. Yeah, the audience, the audience are a bit, they're not very animated. Mind you, you're supposed to sit still in these matches. You've still got the same problems in these rooms as you have in VP4, where you start going through the furniture, you start going through the wall, and all of that stuff. So that's the fixed camera, that's the opposite end camera, that's the top view, and that's the free roam camera. So you can then use, if you've got it configured, you can have this configured like Virtual Pool 4, so you can use the V button, but you don't have a donut, you have an X. If you can see it, it's usually very difficult to see it. Oh, there's much nicer tournament. You know, the TV arena is much nicer. The tournament room is much nicer than this. If only because they've got normal carpets in them. They've not got these psychedelic, bloody migraine-inducing designs on them. No, they don't have coup. If they'd coup, I'd be there. I'd be on there, giving it a go. And I wouldn't hold your breath until they do put coup in it.
Foul.
Foul. Foul. Right, see you later. Yeah, it's a well-worn cloth. It's got the burn marks, the skid marks of the cue ball from the brake shots. And it's got the wear down the rail as well. What the hell button am I pressing? Right, that's the free one. Little billiard. And you can see the threads in the cloth. Right down to the chop marks and discoloration there. Right, so
Game 5. Player 1 to break.
3 racks to 1 to semi-pro in this race tonight. There's a bit of a tight line to go up and down the table to get to that one. It's an easier kick from the short end here. Might get lucky. And Semi will line up the bank. 6 ball hanging over the top right. But you see the line for the bank's a lot different in this game than it is in VP4. That just went straight across. He didn't pick the angle there. Well, it's either all out for the pot down the left or stun it across onto the 6. What does that say there? I can't read that purple text. It says, it's the first time I play a match in here, Hugh. Oh, so that's Mooncake coming up with the excuses already. Right. We're only in here out of desperation, that's the only reason we're here. Now, I think this is just the shooter's pool table. This is the default shooter's pool table. I think it is anyway, but it is. I mean, that's they're fairly tight pockets. Well, that's coming up to 5 PM. My intention was to go and get my dinner about 6 and be back for the match at 8. Watch a bit of the snooker, but those plans have probably gone out the window. There was a rumour I read, I don't know whether I read it on the Shooters Pool forum or it was something to do with a future update. Something about testing, bringing in kicks and snooker. I'm talking about, well, there you go, it's a pace that kept that out. I'm talking about not kicking a ball off a rail line. I'm talking about where the cue ball hits an object ball and there's a deviation because of dirt or whatever it is on the cue ball. or the object ball. Well, I haven't checked any email to see if he's sent a reply. Like I say, if it's true that he's on the road, because he said the other night there when we were on the live stream that he can't make the stub match tonight because he's going to see family, or the family was coming to see him, so he must be going to see the family, and he's driving over to them. I'll tell you something, it's a heck of a long bloody drive if he's driving from where he is on the west coast back to where maybe most of his family is on the east coast where he is, to the west coast where he was. I mean, he shipped over from California right over, 2,500 miles to get to where he is now. That's going to be a fluke. And his cue ball.
Foul.
What are they playing here? They're playing 9 ball. What was a foul there? Did they hit the wrong ball? I'm not paying attention. No, I'm talking about, like in professional snooker over here, you'll hear them talking about, oh, you get a kick, where when the ball hits the object ball, sometimes the object ball jumps and the cue ball jumps off the table, off the bed of the table. Well, that sounds like complicating matters a great deal by doing that in the game. It's bad enough, difficult enough to play the game than it is to start introducing that sort of deviation. Yeah, these pockets are not that generous, it has to be said, on this table. Ah, so you call it a skid.
Silence, please. Game 6. Player 2 to break.
See, when we go down this end, the announcer is louder at this end of the table than he is at the top end. So you can get that a wee bit more central. So 4 racks to 1 to semi-pro. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if I get a copyright strike because of the Steve Daking videos. I'll soon know. Oh, cue ball's going to miss the 9. It might run over to where the 5 is. So I can't see the colour, the distinguishing of the colours here is not that great for me. I mean, that's the pink 4 and that's the orange 5, but there doesn't seem to be a great deal of things to distinguish them. That's a sharp mark in the cloth there. That one. Well, this is a new Virtual Pool 4.
Thank you. Game 7. Player 1 to break.
Oh, I did a stream on a map combination on Eurotruck, and one of the maps on it is a Russian map, and when you install the map, it also installs music that goes with the map, so that when you're on the title screen for the map, the actual your profile, it plays that Russian music. I got a copyright strike for that, because it was included within the mod, and obviously, you know, somebody just downloaded that track and put it in with their map mod. I got a copyright strike because I had it on the stream. You'd be amazed at what they'll give you a copyright strike for. It would not surprise me in the least if I got one. Well, I wouldn't worry too much, Mooncake. I think it'll all be over soon. Yeah, these pockets are tight, by the way, on this table. They definitely are. You've got to get them nailed on, these shots. Now, does he try the little stun in behind the 5 and 6, or the 6 and 7, whatever ball that is there? No, he's going all out for the cut. I don't think that was a wise move. Now, of course, what I should have done is left VP4 up, because that way I could tab out and check if it was working. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you're at. And for anybody who's been wondering, VP4 is down, has been for a good number of hours, not just today, but through the night UK time. And no, the lobby isn't working, and no, we can't log in. That's we're all in the same boat. Steve's aware about the issue, but he's not at home at the moment, and I don't know whether anybody's dealing with it on his behalf. And of course, we are now less than 3 hours away from the proposed big match. Now, the good news is that if it happened to be that it got up and running, and the match had to be reset to start at a later time, then that wouldn't be a problem for me. Where it would be a problem for is Bedhead, because Bedhead's in Sweden. He's an hour ahead of me, so it's already 6:05 his time. It's 5:05 my time. But I don't think Bedhead would fancy playing a match in the middle of the night. So it's going to have to be reset if the worst comes to the worst. And tonight's the deadline date as well, which creates another problem, in that when the servers do go back up and the tournament does load up, that there will be a forfeit. They'll both be forfeited, and one will be advanced probably. But that's the least of our problems. Actually getting the system up and running again is what we need. See, that draw like that is a bit over the top. You see that shot there? Now, does the replay work in this for viewers? I can't remember. I don't even know what the button is, but anyway, the draw in that was way too much. Good afternoon to Sir Garesh. There's people joining all the time. I think it might be a good idea to have a look around at some of the standard of these people in this shooters pool game. See if we can find a match where I can go in as a spectator, and we can just see how good they are. But mind you, this table is not an easy table. You can tell by looking at it. I mean, these pockets are not generous, it has to be said. Mooncake is just going to have to nurse this to the pocket give it every chance to go in, because if he stuns this and it's offline, it ain't going in. Well, see that there, it just shows you how difficult it is to pick the line. The controls can be very similar in Shooter's Pool, because they've actually got a pre-installed, believe it or not, a Virtual Pool 4 setup in Shooter's Pool. So they have, you can actually use that setup. So I mean, I can use my V button as the camera, to move like I would move the donut in Virtual Pool 3. I can do all of that. It's just that the camera buttons are different. I don't think I never ever changed them. And if I go to the fixed one, that's this end, and then you can't move anything. See, the good thing about Virtual Pool 4 is that I can configure a second camera in Virtual Pool 4 so that I'm looking at the opposite end of the table. But this one here is fixed, so I can't then even just use it like a fly cam and rotate. It's fixed, and you've only got the one camera that you can actually use as a fly cam. Yes, Virtual Pool 4 is dead, has been dead for hours and hours, and well, that's why we're here. And we've no information to let us know if there's anything happening. Now, if you give me a second, I'm going to tab out. I'm going to have a quick look at my emails to see if Steve sent me a reply. Just give me 2 seconds. Right, well, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is that I haven't got an email reply from Steve. The good news is I got an email from BT telling me that my engineer's coming tomorrow. So that's the only thing I've got, that my fibre upgrade will be done tomorrow and the engineer's coming. So that's 100% confirmation that he should be on his way tomorrow. But and I was hoping to get that done in time so that I can get the Albi, is it the Albi Bill match? What the hell match is it now? I'm forgetting who's playing who. I think it's Albinario against Bill, because they've set their match as well. And well, I was hoping to have a match tonight, but that's looking a bit grim, I'm afraid. Yeah, well, no, the only thing I read was that I think was it Bill that got a reply from Simon that Steve's aware of it, but he's on the road at the moment. That's the last thing we heard. Yes, this is Shooter's Pool. Well, the names are up the top of the screen. No more clues on that one. We've got Semi-Pro against Mooncake. And they're even in the bottom right hand corner of the screen as well. And Semi-Pro rattles the 5. Mooncake. Oh, he's got a toughie. He's got a cut back into that middle pocket. Let's have a look if I can get there. You see how how tight they are. There's no. Oh, you're on the phone. Ah, right. You're bloody right. You can't see. You're lucky you can see the table if you're looking at this on a phone. It must be bloody tiny. That's a good shot. Yeah, that is pretty good. Now, well, I've been waiting. I rearranged my upgraded my broadband to fibre in January, or was it early February? And they were supposed to be coming at the end of February to install it. There was supposed to be a survey done, and then they were going to come out to fit it, and it has been cancelled about 6 times, and we're now well into April, and they were out last week on an unannounced visit to fit the cable to the house, to the outside of the house, and then the guy's going to come out tomorrow to actually install the thing. That's me been waiting since February. You know, more than 2 months I've been waiting to get this done. I mean, which has not been. The only problem is communication breakdown that there's been between BT and Openreach, who are the company that do the installations. But the fact that I've still got broadband anyways, you know, not a problem. Is that if I didn't have any internet, there'd be a problem. I'd be kicking up more of a fuss. Well, I think what I'll do after this is go and get my dinner. That sounds like the best solution, so at least that I'm fed. And I may well go live a bit later on. I might try Simon again and see if he's heard anything different. If he's online. Basically, I don't know what I'm going to do. The plan's to have that match live streamed at 8 o'clock British Summer Time, which is 2 hours and 40 minutes away. And obviously,
thank you.
That is beyond our control unless this thing gets fixed. Simon said that, did he? Anyway, 2 ball in the break.
Owl.
Oh, and a scratch as well, though, is it? So, Mooncake with ball in hand. Well, he's going to have to bite the bullet here and leave the bank on the 4. That's a shot. Well, he's trying to go over for the cut into the middle. I'll tell you, I would have left the bank. The banks aren't easy, and this drop into the middle is by no means anything like a gimme. Look at how tight that angle is. Those points of the pockets are just jutting out. You're never going to get that ball in there. Now you've got to nurse these balls into these pockets. If you're hitting them firm, there's just absolutely no way they're going in as soon as they're at a point. No, this table has tighter pockets. This is, I think it's a default tournament table. I don't think this is a bot table. But there's another 7-foot black table, which not 7 foot, another 9-foot black table. Is it a ration table, and it's got tournament pockets, and it's bloody hard. It is a difficult table. This is just as difficult if you look at these things here. I mean, they are definitely challenging pockets. So they are, no doubt about that.
Foul.
Oh, that was deafening, that one. Right in my left ear. So Mooncake, ball in hand again, but look at that 7 ball, that's probably stuck to the rail. Let's have a look if we can work out how to get there. It's pretty tight. Oh, he's played it well. That was a good shot. Another difficult one. We're only doing this out of desperation, Strain, you understand. So, Mooncake has a chance to get his 3rd rack on the board, but again, not easy. Well played.
Thank you. Game 12. Player 2 to break.
Ball's jumping in there. And many went there. The 2 ball, the 6, the 7, and he's sitting nicely in the 1. Could be a big comeback on here. Oh, that needs to slow up. It needs to slow up. Stuart, have you ever thought of mentioning to the guys, to Jorge and his brother or whoever he is, that this carpet's shit and he needs to get it changed? I mean, this is absolutely disgusting, this carpet. Well, semi-pro looking to pinch the match here. He's just got to get a hold of the cue ball. And so semi-pro, with a roll in the 9, is going to win. And Blood Mooncake in his first match ever, I think, on Shooter's Pool. So it's game over. And I am going to tab out, if I can remember how to do it. And I'm going to launch Virtual Pool 4 again. Just give me a minute. Exit game room, exit from Shooter's Pool. This is just a final test, and I don't think there's going to be any difference. I think it's exactly the same. Yeah, there's no change. It's just going to come up and say timed out this time. Timed out trying to log into lobby server, so no change whatsoever. So just keep a tab on it. I will go live if there's any change to the circumstances we're in at the moment. My intention is to go live for the bedhead stub match, but your guess is as good as mine if that's going to happen. But I'll try and be there for it. But in the meantime, I'm going for food. So I am out. So thanks for joining, guys. I know it's just a time filler. It's a bit of a waste of time, but I had nothing else to do with my time. So I just thought I'd do it. So I'll see you later on, and hope you can join us, and hope we do have a match. So until then, take care, and I'll see you later, guys.